This stone plaque in memory of Sarah Wartz was, like all the others, reinstalled in its current position when the interior of the church was restored after the fire of 1961. This plaque, and the one for Sarah's husband James, erected by their children, used to be on the back wall up on the west side of the balcony where the family pew was. Now, Sarah is across from James. In fact, all of the women's plaques are on this side of the church, across from the men on the east side. Sarah's husband, James Wartz, came from England in 1831, and with his uncle William Gooderham, he built a milling operation that eventually became the largest distillery in the British Empire. But Sarah was a local girl, born, raised, married, raised her children, and died, all within a few blocks in Corktown. Sarah was one of 9 sisters who grew up in a small house at the corner of Adelaide and Princess Streets. Their father, Thomas, had a butcher shop at the St. Lawrence Market. In the early 1830s, he bought land and built a house on the north side of King Street, near Sumac, and later, when the land was sold and subdivided in the 1850s, Bright Street was named after him. Sarah Bright, then known as Sally, and James G. Wartz started keeping company in 1836, when she was 19. They were part of a big group of friends and cousins who took walks in the Don Valley, went on sleighing parties, and to balls together. They got married in 1840. They lived in a little house on Trinity Street, and later moved into their dream home called Lindenwald on what is now Mill Street, just across the street from the distillery. There's a condo building there now, with a historic plaque about Lindenwald and the Wartz family. Sarah had 5 daughters and 2 sons. Sadly, her 2 oldest died before they were 10 years old, but she lived to see 3 of her daughters married in big fancy society weddings here at Little Trinity. She appears to have suffered from cancer and died in 1876 at the age of 59, just 3 weeks after her daughter Alice's wedding. It was very unusual for women, especially respectable society women, to have obituaries published in the newspaper, but a family friend submitted an anonymous one in which he said,
"The writer has been intimately acquainted with the deceased lady for more than 40 years, and can bear testimony to her goodness and loving kindness through all the relations of life, as girl, wife and mother, sister and friend, and through all those years from girlhood to the last hour of her life, he never knew her to do an unkind or inconsiderate act. To her relatives and friends, she was ever ready to extend a helping hand, and in the true sense that the right hand knew not what the left hand did, and no person appealed to her in vain for assistance. Even to the last hour of her life, when she was racked with pain, she did not forget her usual kindness, and completely forgot herself in thinking of the welfare and convenience of others. Though she did not parade her religion before the world, she was a true Christian in the broadest sense of the term, her piety being eminently practical and useful to all in her day and generation, never missing an opportunity to do good or exercise her bounty. In fact, her character may be summed up in the few and expressive words that a better woman never lived."